Hi everybody, I'm Michelle Carre and welcome to Your Delicious Life, where each week we take a look at life through a different perspective and we either learn something new or we're reminded of something that we already knew. This week's episode is called Why Taking Care of Yourself is So Important. Now, I want to kind of preface this because it's actually the first episode in a series. Now, on November 4th, I am hosting a workshop here in Airdrie. It's going to be at the Embrace Bridal Studio event space, right downtown, right in the same parking lot as Hayloft, actually. And we are going to have an all-day workshop. And in this workshop, you're actually going to get to work, which is kind of crazy because I've been to a lot of different conferences or workshops, and you don't necessarily get to put things into action during it, and you're more taking notes and listening to people speak. But I wanted to create something where you could actually sit down and start writing and start thinking about things for yourself. So that's exactly what we're going to do in this workshop. And we're going to start by helping you clear out the clutter, and then we're going to get into defining what success is for you and writing your personal statements of intent for the 10 different areas of your life. Now from there, we are going to figure out how to start to get those things happening in your life, whether it's by reoccurring activities in a daily, weekly, or monthly format, or whether it's by creating projects or one-time tasks that you need to take care of. So we're going to not only daydream and brainstorm and think about what you want, but we're actually going to make a plan so you can implement it and take action on it. So I'm really excited about it. Like I said, it's November 4th here in Airdrie, 9 to 4. And I'm excited because it's right at a great time of year, right before we get into the Christmas rush and before we get started in the new year, because sometimes January 1st will creep up on us and all of a sudden like, crap, I don't have any goals for the year, or you're kind of guessing at what you should be doing, or you spend all of January trying to put it all together and you kind of lose a month of the year. So with doing it in November, it gives us time to prepare and think and then still enjoy the holiday season and not feel like we're trying to get it all done at the last second. So if you want more information about the workshop, please go to my website, michellecarre.com. It's $97, which is pretty inexpensive, but you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck with the workshop. And it's going to be a great chance to just meet other people and just have some one-on-one time with your own self, which is exactly what this episode is about. Now, the reason I wanted to do this series is because what we do is we break life into 10 different areas. And this series is going to cover each of those areas and help you see them in a different light than maybe what you've seen them before, and give you some ideas and tips and tricks and that kind of thing. But this series is sort of serving as a prerequisite, if you will, not required, but a pre-thing to the workshop itself. So if you're planning on attending the workshop, watching this video series will be super helpful because it'll kind of get your mindset there. Obviously, I'll be going over this to some degree in the workshop, but it just sort of helps to set you up for success. And if you're not able to attend the workshop, then this is a great way to kind of get some of the information that would be shared at the workshop and take that in for yourself so that you can still set your goals up and figure out what it is that you want out of your life. So without further ado, let's get into this week's episode, Why Taking Care of Yourself is So Important. Because the first area of life that I want to talk about is you, taking care of yourself. So let's get into it. It's a classic moment. You're sitting in the airplane, you're in your seat, you're trying to get yourself settled, get your phone where you can reach it because you're not allowed to stand up for a little bit after takeoff. You're trying to make sure you have your headphones available to you, maybe checking out the menu for what's available to order on the flight or what movies are there. And of course, the safety demo starts. So you immediately pick up your book or magazine and don't pay attention because, let's be honest, that's usually what happens. But they always bring up an important point, and a point that is so important that we often hear it repeated in this same vein of taking care of yourself. So the line, of course, is to don your own mask prior to assisting others. And of course, they're talking about the oxygen mask and how they'll fall down from the panels overhead, and you can tighten them around your head by pulling the elastic ends. Yeah, I've taken a few flights. And they tell you how to do it, of course, but when you see videos about taking care of yourself, people often reference this. And what I find interesting is that we sometimes forget that it's so important to take care of ourselves, and we put our kids first. And yeah, sure, there are of course times in our lives where our kids do come first, or our spouses do come first, or our jobs come first. Of course that's going to happen because our lives are an ebb and flow, of course. But for the most part, it is important to take care of yourself and to prioritize that. Now, the reason they tell you that on the plane is because you'll die if you don't put the oxygen mask on first, because the theory is that the cabin has lost pressure, there's little to no oxygen, and so you need the oxygen to keep you thinking so you don't pass out. Well, if you pass out, you can't help the kid that's sitting next to you, the spouse that's sitting next to you, or the friend that's sitting next to you. So that's why they tell you to do that. But I'm telling you to take care of yourself because the same thing will happen. You will run yourself into the ground if you don't recharge your own batteries and take care of yourself. Now, another phrase that I quite enjoy that speaks to this as well is, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Girl. But it's true. It's true. You know, my husband likes to say, happy wife, happy life. Well, yeah, that's a little bit true. So you can look at this a million different ways. You can use airplane safety demos. You can use sassy Southern girl talk if you want to. I don't care how you see it. What I care about is you prioritizing yourself. We play a lot of different roles in our lives. Whether you're a parent, you are someone's employee, maybe you're someone's boss, you're a volunteer, you're a friend, you're a daughter, a son, a nephew, a niece, a grandfather, a mother. You can be a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And when we're with these other people and we're taking on these roles in our lives, would you agree that we want to give it our best? Of course we do. But if our batteries are dying, how can we give those around us our best efforts? So in my talks, I often use a cell phone analogy. And if you think about your phone, you have all these different apps open. And if you think about it like your life, you probably have an app open for your spouse, and an app open for your kids, and an app open for your job and your volunteer work and your fun and your friends and that kind of stuff. So you're going to have a lot of different apps open in your life, just like you do on your phone. Now, on your phone, if you have all these apps open and you don't close them, your battery starts to drain. And if your battery starts to drain, then your phone eventually dies and you can't even use it. So what do we do every single day, maybe sometimes twice a day or more? We recharge our phone. And that's what we have to do for ourselves as well. Because if you have all these apps open in your life, but you're never stopping to close those apps down for the day, for the moment, however long you need to, but close those apps and just recharge your own battery, you're going to die out like your battery would on your cell phone. And then how are you going to be able to help those that are most important to you? So how do you recharge your battery? Well, we have to find a way to do that that works for us. Now, oftentimes when you hear talks about self-care or watch an episode or read a blog, they reference things like bubble baths and glasses of wine. Believe me, I'm a strong proponent of the glass of wine. But maybe bubble baths aren't your thing. And if they're not, then don't do that. If that doesn't recharge you, if the whole idea of it just makes you feel bored and sweaty because the water's too hot, then don't have a bath. But find something that allows you to recharge. Now, if it is sort of a quiet time activity or a solitude activity, then figure out what that might be. For some people, I've talked about this before, I love going to chapters. I love going and getting a coffee at Starbucks and just wandering through chapters, flipping through books, walking through the home section, looking at all the different things they have there, and then popping over to HomeSense and taking a stroll through there. For me, that's really re-energizing. It's just time to decompress. I'm not really thinking about anything specific, and I'm around things that I love. I'm around beautiful things for the home. I'm around so much knowledge and so much creativity, and it's just a really great spot for me. It's funny, the other day, my friend's son had his first birthday, so I decided to get him some books from Chapters. And when I gave them to her, I said, you know, I'm kind of hoping that you have one of these books because the receipt's inside. And if you had to, unfortunately, go to Chapters on your own to exchange this book that you received as a gift, but it was a duplicate. But you just had to go and spend some time by yourself and enjoy that time on your own. That would be terrible. So it was sort of a 2-in-1 gift, hoping that you might have that chance to do that. Maybe you recharge by escaping. Now, I don't mean running screaming down the street naked from your life. I mean just temporarily leaving your life and watching or reading about someone else's. Maybe it's reading a book. You love to curl up by the fireplace, put on those cozy reading socks that you saw chapters when you were there for that solitude time, and just getting lost in the book. Maybe it's some television show that you just like to have your mind taken away into a world that is nothing like your own and just be in that space for a time period. Maybe it's movies. Maybe you just love to dig into the new movies. Maybe it's going to them or maybe watching it at home. Doesn't matter where you do it, but if escaping your reality for a different one for a period of time is important to you, then do that. Enjoy that time. And sometimes it's about hobbies. Maybe you like to refinish furniture or draw or take photographs or build things with your hands. If you have a hobby of some kind and that's something that just recharges your battery and allows you to disconnect and feel good about what you've created or taken photographs of or what you've done with your hands, then do that thing. It doesn't matter what your thing is for recharging your batteries, and you could have multiple things that you do to recharge your batteries. The point is to figure out what those things are and schedule them. Marie Forleo is someone that I very much respect and look up to. And I love a quote that she always says, which is, if it's not scheduled, it's not real. And I think that's such a valid point because we don't think to schedule ourselves sometimes. And I think it's really important to do that. So if it is blocking off an hour or two so that you can go spend that time in chapters, or if it is, blocking off time and saying to your partner or having someone come in and watch over for your kids, you can have an hour to go work on something creative for yourself. Scheduling that time is really important. So make it happen. Now, some of these things also may be things that are more about habit forming. So maybe reading is a great escape for you and a great way for you to recharge. So maybe you create the habit of going to bed 20 minutes early so you can go and sit and read and enjoy a book and escape to another place. But whatever it is, make sure you schedule it or make sure you create a habit around it so that it's happening in your life. Prioritizing yourself is your job. So make sure you take time to do that, because if you don't take time to recharge your batteries, how are you going to show up in this world and support the people and the projects that you love and are passionate about with any energy if you haven't recharged your own battery? So this week, I want you to think about what it is that would recharge your batteries and actually schedule it. And until it's a habit, you should schedule those things as well. But figure out what you can do for yourself. It doesn't have to take a long time. It could be something you do every day for a few minutes. It could be something you do once a week for a couple of hours. But think about what that thing is, or maybe a couple of different things that you would enjoy. Make a list and then schedule them. And I really believe that when you take that time for yourself and recharge your own batteries, you come back with so much more energy and excitement and happiness in helping the people around you. So take that time for yourself, because it's not only important for you, it's important for everyone around you. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, we're here every Wednesday with a new episode. You can subscribe to get the episodes delivered right to your inbox early Wednesday morning. Just go to the website, michellecarre.com, and at the very top there, you can subscribe for the newsletter. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you next week. Take care, everyone.